Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexis and I am a 5th and hopefully final year PhD student studying biological oceanography at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And today's video is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more unfiltered, and I kind of got the idea because an undergrad came up to me and asked me how I felt as a PhD student, and generally if I would consider myself happy in my PhD program. And yeah, that got me thinking whether or not I am truly happy as a PhD student living in Oahu, Hawaii. And that's kind of the topic that I wanted to explore with you guys today. So I think this was kind of a difficult question to answer, when I was put right on the spot with this undergrad, but generally I just wanted to say yes, because I think I'm a pretty happy, positive, happy-go-lucky type of people, and pretty optimistic most of the times, even though grad school is kind of, I don't know, tiring me out a little bit. I would say that I'm generally pretty positive and kind of believe that everything happens for a reason. So I'm meant to be in my PhD program for a reason. Therefore, yeah, I'm pretty happy where I'm at. But I definitely don't know that all PhD students in programs all across the world in different places could agree with me on this one, that they're happy in their PhD programs. And I think it kind of just depends on how you're defining happiness too, or what does happiness mean to you and what types of things make you happy. So for example, for me, I think something that makes me happy is having time flexibility, meaning that I can kind of structure my day however I want. I can wake up really early, start work at 6 a.m. and be done around noon if I wanted to. I can stay up late all night working if I wanted to, or I can have the classic 9-to-5 job where I go into campus every weekday, starting around 9, work all day, and leave around 5 p.m. I think that's kind of a boring way to do it. That wouldn't really make me happy, because I kind of feel the whole perk or benefit of being a PhD student or someone in academia is having that time flexibility, where you can really structure your work day and your work week however you'd like, as long as you're meeting the deadlines that you need to meet, getting all of the work done that you should be getting done. But that is something that I think makes me very happy. Just being able to take a day off if I'm feeling a little bit sick, or I don't know, not really in the mood to work. I think, yeah, having that flexibility makes me really happy. And like I mentioned, just having kind of full control over your schedule, how you schedule your day, how you schedule your week. You will get a little bit of guidance from your advisor. They might want you to do something for them one week, or yeah, they might want you to be doing certain things, but it's kind of up to you how you want to do those things, when you want to work on it, as long as you're getting everything done. And I think having this time flexibility is really nice, because it gives you the space to have certain experiences that you want to have. For example, I think as a grad student you can kind of take time off whenever you would like. Of course, this is kind of limited maybe to a month or a month and a half in any given year. But you can take time around the Christmas holidays, around Thanksgiving. Maybe you want a spring break or a long summer vacation. You have the flexibility to do all of this and to take vacations kind of when you want. You also have the opportunity to travel, to present your research, go to conferences or workshops all around the world. And I think that that's also something that's really important to me, is having the time and like flexibility to travel whenever I want. For example, my grandpa told me about this Italy trip coming that he's planning next year, and it sounded like an amazing experience to go to Italy to spend time with my grandpa. And I kind of feel like if I was in a different job, maybe I wouldn't have that same flexibility. I've also had the opportunity to travel to different countries like Australia and Japan this past summer, which was really amazing. And I even got a little bit of money in like grants and certain scholarships to fund my travel a little bit, which is always a win. So yeah, I think that's really important to me, like having that flexibility. Also, just like going back home for the holidays. I get to go back home for Thanksgiving, Christmas. Maybe if there's a nice concert in LA, then I'll fly back for a weekend to do that. So yeah, lots of flexibility in your schedule. And that's really great because then I get to prioritize like family time, time with my mom and my sisters and my grandparents, and that is really important to me, right? Because I really value traveling, but also time spent with my family. And I'm also not trying to say or like give the impression that doing a PhD is really easy and always like sunshine and rainbows. Funny because we're here in Hawaii, but it's not always sunshine and rainbows. It is extremely difficult. You're like pushing your own boundaries. You're pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge in your discipline. You're putting like lots of work into this massive project from anywhere from like 4 to 7 or 8 years. So it really just is so much work, right? And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I would say like doing a PhD makes me unhappy sometimes, but the more I think about it, I think that I kind of get like happiness and fulfillment from doing things that are really challenging to me or that really push my own limits. For example, like people like going to the gym, right? Because it's tough, you're like straining yourself a little bit, and it's sometimes nice to do things that are hard. So that's kind of why I feel like challenging myself with this PhD, challenging myself on a daily basis with the work that I'm doing actually does bring me a lot of like fulfillment, I think. And yeah, maybe that also like comes down to the kind of person you are too, because I know I've always been obsessed with like setting these massive goals and I don't know, putting all of my time and focus into achieving them. And I feel really happy when I'm able to achieve those goals, even if it's not like fully, right? Like I haven't even finished my PhD. I haven't published any papers on my PhD just yet, but I'm still pretty happy on the daily basis. When I work really hard, I don't know, like on a plot and am able to get it done by the end of the day. Even if it takes me multiple days to like figure something out, I'm pretty happy when I finally get it. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, challenging yourself, struggling a little bit, and like becoming better and better at the skill that you're doing. So that also makes me happy. I also don't want to ignore the fact that I'm a PhD student living in Hawaii, which most people would say is like paradise, like beautiful place to be, right by the ocean. You probably go to the ocean every single day, beautiful weather, things like that. And it is definitely really nice to be a PhD student here. That's one of the like primary reasons why I chose to do my PhD here, because I knew that wherever I was going to do my PhD, I was going to be living there for like 4 years plus. So it was really important that I was moving to a place where the program was not only like good and the project also good, but that I liked the place. And I think I'm pretty happy with where I ended up. I was kind of choosing between Honolulu, Hawaii and Miami, Florida, which I feel like couldn't be more different. I mean, they're kind of the same in like beach and weather maybe, but yeah, completely different when it comes to other things. And I'm very glad that I ended up here where I'm at. And yeah, I don't know why I really like living in Hawaii, even though it is super expensive and the most expensive place that I've ever lived, which can be especially difficult if you're on a PhD student salary, which could be anywhere from like $20,000 to maybe at the higher end, like $37,000. So really not that much, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. Of course, sometimes the financial situation seems a little bit stressful, but we do our best to like save and minimize expenses where we can. And it's worked for us over the past few years. It is difficult to save on island, I will say that. And I'm also just speaking from someone that doesn't have to like support a family or anything. So I don't even know what that kind of like financial stress is like. Hopefully this isn't getting too rambly. But yeah, there's a lot of nice things about living here. I think it's pretty relaxed. You're surrounded by nature. So I can go for a hike very easily. I can go see some waterfalls. I can hike around a crater, and then I can go to the beach right after and like go surfing for sunset. So yeah, we are a bit spoiled when it comes to like nature and beaches here. And I also just think in general that the way of life here is a little bit more like chill and relaxed compared to other places that I've lived in. Like I'm from LA, and I think LA is very like fast moving, very stressful. It feels very chaotic almost all the time. Like people are just always busy trying to get somewhere. And then I moved to Tucson, Arizona, where I felt like, wow, this is so much slower than LA, like slower pace of life. And then I feel like moving here in Hawaii, it's like kind of even slower than Tucson. That I do like most of the time. And of course, I think Hawaii is also a special place to me because this is where I met Mishi, my wife. This is where we like got to know each other, go on our first dates, and like, I don't know, the whole story just really progressed and everything happened here. So yeah, I think it's always gonna feel like a pretty special place to me. So I'm like very grateful to be living here. And also just for all of the people that I've met on this island and in my own department, all of the friends that I've made. That alone just kind of makes the whole PhD experience feel worth it, especially on like the most stressful days. So when I'm feeling like overwhelmed and stuff, I try to remind myself how lucky I am to be here, especially because when I was like an undergrad or post-grad applying to graduate school programs, this was like the dream. And sometimes I have to remind myself that like you're living your like dream life, the life that you dreamed of when you were like an undergrad. So kind of keeping that in mind and having that perspective of like being grateful for where you are, being grateful for where you get to live, and for all of the people that you got to meet just because you decided to do a PhD here. Yeah, the thought of that also makes me really, really happy because I'm super grateful for all of the people that I've met during my time here. And yeah, my life would definitely not be the same had I not moved here to do my PhD. I wouldn't have even met Mishi probably. And I think the answer to this question could also depend on like just where I'm at, what stage I'm at, how much progress I've been making the past few weeks. I feel like I've been in a particularly like difficult stage of my PhD right now. It's very stressful, very overwhelming, and I kind of end every day just feeling like I never did enough. Like there's always so many more things. I feel like this constant sense of like just overwhelm, where like sometimes I'm just so overwhelmed with all of the different things going on that I just can't do anything and kind of like break down and just like rot for the rest of the evening, sometimes a whole day. So yeah, that's probably like the uglier side of the PhD. And I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that you have all of this flexibility to choose and prioritize what you work on, but you have a project that's like this big and needs to be broken down into like tiny steps. And oftentimes PhD students are like juggling a billion different things, like so many different projects, so many different papers. Maybe you're juggling like teaching or mentoring with your own research, I don't know, science outreach, community service things, committees that you're serving on, as well as like your own personal life, right? So everything that you have going on in your personal life. And right now we're moving. So it's been extremely stressful, and I've just kind of been feeling so overwhelmed. But I think, you know, despite all of that, I'm still pretty happy in my PhD program, I would say. Even on like the worst days when I just feel so overwhelmed, I can't do anything. I don't know, sometimes I do think about like just giving up, but that's more because I feel like we do so much work and we're paid so little. I feel like if this job was like really stressful, like some other jobs, but we got paid a lot, then by all means I would like continue in it, because I kind of think that the money would be worth it, because just having money gives you so much other flexibility to do the things that you want to do and have the experiences that you want to have in life. And you definitely don't have like significant like income as a PhD student. So that's also probably the other stressor, is just kind of trying to balance the research with certain side hustles, like YouTube and dog sitting, that we really try to do to just kind of supplement our income. And balancing all of those different things, the personal life, relationships, and also work life, is a little challenging. And yeah, that's probably the worst side of being a PhD student, is just the juggling so many things, not really being paid enough for the work that you're doing, which kind of ends up feeling that you're just like not valued as much. Like you're a PhD student down here and everyone else is way up here, and your friends that have been like in normal jobs are also getting paid way up here compared to you. So that feeling is pretty bad. But all in all, I would say that despite all of the downsides of being a PhD student in Hawaii, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. And I'm not quite done. I haven't defended. I still have about another year to go. But right now, I would say that doing a PhD has been completely worth it for me. Even if I don't continue into academia or doing a postdoc, becoming a professor, doing research, I would say it's like been pretty worth it, just for getting to live here in Hawaii, for getting to do all the research that I've been able to do, the traveling, the people that I've met along the way. Yeah, I would say it's been worth it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys liked this little bit more unfiltered type of video. I didn't really script anything. I was just kind of thinking about like, I don't know, am I happy as a PhD student? And like, what does that even mean? What even makes me happy or like affects my happiness as a PhD student? So if you got any value out of this video, or if you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Really helps me. And also hit the subscribe button to not miss more videos about PhD life in Hawaii. Thank you.